Okay, boxing fans, Adrien Broner versus Carlos Molina. This fight needs all the introduction in the world. Broner is basically coming off a loss to Marcos Maidana and is coming back fighting Carlos Molina. Not the good Molina, not the sex offender Molina. We're talking about Amir Khan's leftovers Molina, former domestic fighter Molina, lightweight boxer Molina. This is a disappointing fight, to be honest, even for a comeback fight. And I mean, this is a monumental step back, even for Adrien Broner. So it's disappointing. It is his first fight at light welterweight, however. We'll ask a few of the guys what they think of it. I'm going to first bring in Ryan. So my first question to Ryan is, Ryan, what do you make of this fight?
I don't mind the fight, because I think when Broner's comeback fight was first mooted, it was all talk of Amir Khan. It was talk of who else was it? Malinarji, I think, or maybe a rematch. There was lots of talk, especially the Amir Khan fight. But I thought, nah, that's not going to happen. What's definitely going to happen is they're going to get him an easier opponent, because he was humiliated by Marcos Maidana. It can be difficult to come back from that sort of a fight when you've been humiliated. So I think this is just a confidence building fight. Like David Price made that fatal error where he got humiliated by Tony Thompson. He came back and fought Tony Thompson and got humiliated again. Don't think Adrien Broner would even know who David Price is, but I think it's that sort of thinking. Yeah, they talked a big fight, they talked the big names, but really, when it boiled down to it, they were just going to get him somebody who he could beat comfortably, and that's what I think this fight is.
Yeah. So here's my next question to you then, Ryan. Should a guy who is as hyped as Broner, and this is a guy who was hyped into the pound for pound top 10 in the eyes of the majority of people. I'm not saying the majority of people as in we agree with them. I mean, we disagree with most of the majority because they're thick as pig shit sometimes. But some people suggested he was in the top 10 pound for pound. Should he be fighting someone on such a low level?
No, because I think I think that this is an okay fight, because I think those people who were hyping Adrien Broner in, say, like Ring Magazine, which should just be called Golden Boy Magazine, those sort of people were Golden Boy promoters pushing his name onto us. They were the sort of people who love Golden Boy fighters, who love Floyd Mayweather, love Adrien Broner, etc. So the ones who were claiming that Adrien Broner was the next big thing were probably slightly biased anyway. And I think it was only a matter of time, as we saw in his fights against Malinarji, and as it was proven in his fight with Maidana, and as it was suggested in his fight with Daniel Ponce de Leon a few years ago, and he struggled with another opponent earlier on in his career. There's been lots and lots of examples or suggestions that Adrien Broner might not be quite as good as some people thought he was. So I don't think that this is really a step back for him or anything like that. I think this is just a comeback fight, confidence building fight, and those people who did think Adrien Broner was in the top 10 were just plain wrong. They were just wrong. It's the Golden Boy rankings. They had Saul Alvarez in their top 10, they had Adrien Broner in their top 10, they had goodness knows who else in their top 10 who didn't deserve to be there, and that's what I think about that.
Okay then, so who do you think? Where do you think the winner will go from here?
Sorry, say that again.
Where do you think the winner should go from here?
Well, I think if Adrien Broner wins, which I expect he does, if Carlos Molina wins, then I think he deserves, like a big payday, because I presume he'll be getting paid quite well for this fight. And if he beats Adrien Broner, even an Adrien Broner on the back of a loss, if Carlos Molina wins, he deserves a big payday, because the likes of Carlos Molina are put in the ring to lose against guys. He's put in that ring as probably a 33-1 underdog or a 20-1 underdog, and he's been put in there to lose to make Adrien Broner look good. And if he wins, then he deserves a payday. And if Adrien Broner wins, which I'm almost certain he will do, he can probably bounce straight off from that into a big fight. Because I don't think Adrien Broner needs that much of a confidence build, a confidence streak.
But who do you want to see him fight? Who do you want to see him fight in the weight limit?
Well, who else is it? He's at light welterweight now, I presume, yeah?
Yeah.
Because I know he was at welterweight for like that one fight. Well, if he's at light welterweight, he obviously can't fight Provodnikov because he's with Top Rank. Although I would love to see that fight, because if Maidana can manhandle Broner, Provodnikov would tear his head off. So that's not going to happen. Lucas Matisse, maybe. I'd love to see that fight. Danny Garcia. I don't think he deserves a fight with Danny Garcia because he doesn't deserve a genuine world title shot now. He hasn't earned it. Adrien Broner hasn't earned a shot at the big boys, which is the likes of Danny Garcia. So I wouldn't mind seeing him fight somebody like Peterson, Matisse, maybe somebody like Jessie Vargas, who didn't he fight just the other day?
Yeah, top rank guy though.
Sorry?
Top rank guy.
Yeah. Oh, is Jessie Vargas top rank? Oh, yeah. He fought Kaladiev thingy. All right then. Well, opponents like I just said, like Matisse and whoever, but it's going to be a tricky one to find an opponent who he really deserves, because like I said, he doesn't deserve a fight with Danny Garcia, because Garcia is genuinely a pound for pound ranked fighter and he's got the belts, and Broner doesn't deserve a shot at those belts yet. He needs to beat some guys to get up there.
Okay.
I'll tell you a good fight for him. Mauricio Herrera. That would be a good fight for him.
That would be a very good fight. That would be a very good fight indeed. I'm gonna leave you on hold for a minute, Ryan, and we'll bring you back maybe later. Just gonna bring in my next guest now, which is Body Shot Boxing's Brian Murphy. So, Brian, can you hear me? And you okay, Brian?
Yeah, I just took you off mute. Yep, I'm here.
Cool. So, my questions to you are similar, almost the same. What I've got for you is, who do you like in this fight? What do you think about it?
I'm gonna have to go with Broner. I'm not a big fan of his, just because of his arrogance. I mean, I know he's not the only arrogant fighter out there. Floyd Mayweather, of course, is very arrogant. But there's something that I just don't like about Broner. He doesn't seem to be able to pull off his bravado with a balance of, hey, like me, even though I'm a little bit arrogant. Fighting skill-wise, though, he's a talented guy. I think that he underestimated Maidana. I think he went in with a very weak game plan against Maidana. And I think if he would have been a little more focused, I actually think he could have beat him. I really believe that.
I totally agree with that. I thought that Broner would beat Maidana on his worst day. How wrong was I on that night? But my next question for you, Brian, is: should the guy who was so hyped pound for pound, this guy was one of the most hyped boxers in the world, be regressing to a guy of John Molina's level?
Well, what's interesting, part of the reason he was so hyped is because he hyped himself. He was a good hype machine. And so therefore, himself just, with his personality. But this is the type of fight that trainers like to put their fighters up against when they've lost one, kind of as a confidence builder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only thing is, I see it as more of a slap in the face, because this guy's a domestic level fighter at best, whereas we're talking about a freeweight world champion in Broner. Okay, maybe not a legitimate freeweight world champion, or probably the worst freeweight world champion of all time at this moment in time, but still, I just think he should be fighting someone better than that, at least someone who's fought for a world title, surely. But okay, maybe it's just me who thinks that. Where do you want to see Adrien Broner go? Or John Molina, if you think he's going to win. Where do you think the winner is going to go from here?
You broke up a little bit. If Broner gets the win, where should he go from there?
Yeah, that's right.
Matisse is a nice option. I really think that's a good next fight for him. I really think that's a good next fight for Adrien Broner and Matisse. That's what I would like to see.
Okay.
Garcia's moving up in weight class, I know.
Okay,
but I would like to see Matisse.
No problem. We'll leave it there for a minute. We're just going to check if Paul's with us. Paul, you with us, pal?
Yeah, I'm with you guys.
Okay. I just want to sum this up pretty quickly because we've got a bit of technical difficulties on my end now. Who do you think's going to win this fight, Paul?
Adrien Broner, of course.
Of course.
He'll win the fight fairly easily.
What do you think about the opponent selection?
Let's be honest, the opponent selection isn't unsurprising, but is John Molina a well-level fighter? No, he's not, and he never will be, and he'll never be anywhere near it. It's what promoters do nowadays. When they've got a big fighter, a big name, who they've invested a lot of money in, and they crash and burn, like Broner did, then they've got to be built back up, and they always take a baby step for the comeback fight. This is what this fight is for Broner on his way back to the top. It's a baby step, really.
And where do you think he's going to go from here?
Where do both fighters go if they win? If Molina wins, then, like as Ryan said, he's probably going to earn himself a couple of good paydays against other fighters. And if Broner wins, then I'm convinced they're just going to feed Lamont Peterson to Adrien Broner, so Adrien Broner can become a 4-weight world champion. God forbid. But I think that's nailed on. They're desperate to market Broner as this big, superstar, this kid prodigy or whatever. A fight, or if he doesn't get Peterson, I wouldn't be surprised if they just wheel out Zab Judah for him, Zab Judah's still knocking around. I don't think he's retired. He pretty much fights anyone Golden Boy asks him to now because he likes being in big fights and he likes the paydays. Or maybe there's one or two other names in the hat as well you can think of. I'm trying to think. Humberto Soto. He's another guy who they wheel out on the occasional card. Fights like that. He's not going to fight Garcia because Garcia will go up. He's not going to fight Matisse because Matisse would put him in a coma, most likely. Golden Boy, I think, are definitely going to take the time with Broner and build it back up smartly.
Okay. Well, thanks for your input, guys. I'm going to leave it there for this one. I'll let you all guess what I think. Obviously I think Broner's going to win.